So growing up, there are those things that our parents did that leave like a lasting impression on you, for good or otherwise, which even to this day you can recall with ease. Now, most of these things may be peculiar to your own parents, but there are also those things which seemingly every parent shares, like they all took the same class where they learned which things to get upset about. Make your bed in the morning. Don't stand with the refrigerator door open. If the garbage can is full, then take the bag out. Don't you dare look at me in that tone of voice. Granted, we look back now and realize that our parents were trying to teach us how to be like human and not selfish, overindulgent gremlins with a hygiene problem. But the one thing that I remember my dad harping on constantly were the lights. Turn the lights off. Why is this light on? No one's even in here. Why do you have the light on anyway? The sun is out. You turning on lights like you pay rent. See, now that I'm 35, responsible for 3 buildings, and I see the electric bill, the only thing I'll say is this. I get it. But light is something that subconsciously we know is all too important. And considering that it tends to remain at the level of the subconscious, we're prone to take advantage of it. So as we come together to celebrate the feast of the presentation of the Lord, we're called to remember the importance that light plays in our lives. So why is light so important for the feast of the presentation? Especially since it's about Mary and Joseph taking Jesus to the temple in Jerusalem to fulfill some obligation of the law. Well, it has everything to do with what happened on that fateful day in royal David's city, especially considering that what took place was rather out of the ordinary. See, as they came forward to present their infant son to the high priest, seemingly out of nowhere, this man comes to them, snatches the child out of his mother's hands, and offers a rather bizarre commentary on the situation. When you then add in Anna, the prophetess, who's been hanging around the temple for decades, well, I'm sure you can agree that it's not something you're easily going to forget. But it's that prophecy of Simeon that I find to be very intriguing. See, taking up the child, he declares for all to hear that his eyes have seen the salvation which you have prepared in the sight of all peoples, a light for revelation to the Gentiles and glory for your people Israel. See, while the angels may have said it to the shepherds on that lonesome Christmas night, and the kings offered gifts in that anonymous Bethlehem house, this is the first time we really experience a public declaration of just exactly who Jesus Christ is. Simeon has seen the salvation of his God and named it light. Simeon has seen the light. Not just a light, but the light. The light that will shine on Jew and Gentile alike. The light that will wash our entire existence clean from the sin and death that has long plagued us. Jesus Christ is that light. See, why this is so important is intimately linked to that importance of light in our own lives. It's said that sight is our chief sense, and we take in as much as 80% of our sensory information from what we see. And our eyes rely upon light in order to receive this sensory data. And this is why we all have a natural inclination of fear when it comes to darkness. It's why all those scary stories generally involve some form of darkness, because we are already prone to weariness as the light begins to fade. for Jesus Christ to be the light. Indeed, the light of the world means that we can only see our world and everything that happens in it because he is the one who bathes it in light. We can see the truth in all matters if we but rely upon him to illumine it for us. But this is where things get a little difficult. We have a tendency to want to rely on other things to guide our thinking and to govern our lives. Whether it be ideology or politics, money, work, notoriety, or anything else we think will bring us happiness. We view our world in that light only. See, these things, these attitudes, are like those little keychain flashlights. Sure, they may work for a little while, and it may even be sufficient for what we think we need. But eventually, the batteries die, the light bulb blows, we just have to throw it away and get a new one. But even then, when you take that little flashlight out into the brightness of a sunny day, you can't even tell that it's on. This is what it looks like when we try to find everything we need: love, happiness, acceptance, peace in stuff, in people, in pleasure, instead of finding it in Jesus Christ. It lasts a moment, and then we need to move on to the next thing. But Jesus Christ is the light that blazes even in the darkest of places, that leads us into true freedom. That true freedom that we are so frenzied to find. The light tends to be something that we take advantage of, and really we only miss it when it's gone. The light is integral to who we are. In the absence of light, we lose one of the most important ways in which we interact with our world. How apt then that from the very beginning of his life dwelling among us, he is called light. In this way, if we live in his light, we are then able to reflect that light, to multiply that light throughout the world. And it just so happens that this is the one light that we need not worry about listening to my dad grumble about being on. So let Jesus Christ illumine your mind and illumine your heart. Then, and only then, can we be beacons to draw all to Christ in the darkness of our world.